And I only have one request. Look, man, all bullshit aside, can I please just have some ass?
Okay.
First Diddy, Shannon Sharpe, and now Tyler Perry? Does this make them the unholy trinity? In a shocking turn of events, it's not shocking to me, but shocking to other people, entertainment mogul Tyler Perry is facing a $260 million lawsuit over allegations of sexual harassment, assault, and workplace retaliation. The lawsuit filed Friday, June 13, 2025. Damn, that was on Friday the 13th as well. In federal court by actor Derek Dixon accuses Tyler Perry of abusing his power to manipulate, coerce, and ultimately silence Derek Dixon over several years. But as this lawsuit dominates headlines, many are pointing to a 15-year-old episode of The Boondocks, one that may have predicted all of this. But before I break this down, let's discuss who Tyler Perry is. You know, I feel like I should have talked about this already. Tyler Perry, a name that stirs up a lot of emotions, love, frustration, admiration, and critique. A filmmaker who is both celebrated and frankly controversial, especially within the Black community. And yet somehow I've waited until now to really say anything. Maybe it was worth the wait because the timing feels right. Tyler Perry is a complicated figure. On one hand, he's praised as a pioneer, an incredibly successful Black writer, director, and studio owner who built an empire from scratch. On the other hand, he's also a point of tension, especially among Black audiences who are tired of seeing the same narratives recycled over and over and over again. As a Black woman myself, you know, an American negress, I've grown up with Tyler Perry's work. I've seen his plays, watched the DVDs, and yes, I was a big Madea fan. If you don't know who Madea is, I don't know how, but she's the loud, no-nonsense, gun-toting grandmother that Tyler Perry himself plays. She was wise, wild, aggressive, hilarious, and absolutely unforgettable.
Lock me up, hell, I'd rather be in Martha Stewart's old self fighting for my virginity than to be sitting there dealing with this.
But as I got older and started to think more critically about the media I consumed, I began to notice some very clear patterns in his storytelling. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. Let me break it down for you. Almost every Tyler Perry movie follows this formula. You have an angry Black woman. Why is she angry? Because she's been hurt, usually by a dark-skinned Black man. Yep, there's often cheating, abuse, betrayal, and some kind of trauma involved. Then somewhere in the story, a light-skinned Black man comes in to save the day. He's kind, gentle, emotionally available, everything the last man wasn't. Tyler Perry usually shows up in the film in some form or fashion as the voice of reason usually. And then you just rotate the setting, change a few details, maybe toss in a church scene or two, but the emotional core of the story stays the same. And why is that? Because Tyler Perry writes almost all of it himself, from the plays to the movies to the TV shows. He's writing, directing, and producing it all, which sure is an impressive work ethic, but it also means we're getting the same story told through the same lens over and over and over again. So when my family said, "Hey Tunes, you gotta check out Tyler Perry's new film on Netflix, it's called Straw," my first thought was, do I even need to? Haven't I already seen this movie before? Because it's most likely about a struggling Black woman. She's going through a hard time. She's probably a single mother. Maybe she just lost her job. Maybe she's being mistreated by someone she trusted, and somehow in the mix of the melodrama, she's either saved or shamed, and the message is always laced with the same ingredients: pain, punishment, and prayer. Now, don't get me wrong, there's an audience for this, and clearly Tyler Perry's formula works, but at what cost? What messages are we reinforcing when the same story keeps telling us that Black women must suffer deeply before they're allowed to heal, or that dark-skinned men are always the source of pain and light-skinned men the saviors? Listen, I don't care what nobody says, you cannot convince me otherwise that Tyler Perry has some type of beef or heavy dislike for dark-skinned Black men, because in all of his films, they're the villain. This is not to discredit Tyler Perry's accomplishments. What he's done is remarkable. He built an entire film studio, he gave jobs to countless black actors, he opened doors where many stay shut. But that doesn't mean he's above critique, especially when the stories he tells repeatedly lean on harmful tropes. So yeah, maybe I should have talked about Tyler Perry sooner, but maybe now's the best time because we're at a point where the culture is finally asking harder questions about the kind of stories we allow to shape us and this $260 million lawsuit. According to the lawsuit, Derek Dixon, best known for his role as Dale in Tyler Perry's political drama The Oval, claims he was sexually harassed, assaulted, and emotionally manipulated by Tyler Perry after the two met in 2019. At the time, Dixon was working at an event at the grand opening of Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta. Dixon alleges that after an initial professional connection, Tyler Perry began sending inappropriate messages, later inviting him to his private home in Douglasville, Georgia. There, Dixon claims he was assaulted following a night of drinks and conversation. The pattern allegedly didn't stop. The lawsuit details multiple instances from 2020 to 2023, including coercive interactions on a private island in the Bahamas and a second assault during a meeting about Dixon's own show pilot Losing It. As Dixon tried to distance himself, he says Tyler Perry kept offering him roles and career opportunities as bait. The lawsuit paints a disturbing picture that echoes several other high-profile cases in the entertainment industry.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
According to Dixon, the psychological toll of enduring Tyler Perry's alleged harassment led to anxiety, depression, and even a prescription of antidepressants. He eventually moved to California in 2023, hoping to escape Tyler Perry's influence. As of right now, Tyler Perry has denied all allegations. In a statement from Tyler Perry's attorney Matthew Boyd, the lawsuit is described as an attempted shakedown, and Dixon is accused of fabricating claims for financial gain. Boyd said, "This is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam, but Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail." As of now, Tyler Perry has made no personal public comment, but the court of public opinion is already ablaze. Now, I'm sure all of you are wondering, Tunes, how does this relate back to the Boondocks? As the lawsuit grabs headlines, one of the most infamous episodes of the Boondocks is suddenly back in the spotlight.
You better tell me who the hell up in my house before I get the captain. I ain't lying.
Who the hell you think you talking? Who the hell you think you talking?
Let's rewind to June 20th, 2010, when Adult Swim aired the Boondocks Season 3 episode titled Pause. It would go on to become one of the most controversial and possibly prophetic installments in the show's history. The title Pause refers to slang practice often used to deflect or clarify statements that might be interpreted as sexually aggressive or gay, usually followed by no homo. Damn, not on Pride Month. Oh yeah, also happy Pride!
Accept yourself. Love yourself. Accept yourself.
It's part satire and part social commentary and fully aimed to dissect things toxic masculinity, homophobia in black communities, and something else, something a bit deeper.
Pause.
We opened the episode with a parody of a Medea play and Huey breaking down the plot that is every Tyler Perry film/play.
The typical Winston Jerome story starts with a beautiful, educated, professional black woman trapped in a troubled marriage with a brown-skinned bald dude from Law & Order.
How can you do this to me?
Get out. I'm gonna marry this white hussy because you are too virtuous and strong and might make me a better man.
Then, a dude who looks like Shamar Moore shows up as the shirtless, light-skinned gardener who just got out of jail.
Excuse me, may I rake your leaves?
At first, she acts like she doesn't like the light-skinned gardener, but eventually she gets to know him and sees the sensitive side.
Now, I know that to you, I'm just a poor, light-skinned gardener who can't even afford a shirt. But I love me some Jesus, and I love me some you.
Oh, Lord, thank you, Jesus. I never thought I'd ever be with a man so loving and light-skinned.
And I will always be light-skinned just for you.
Being a good Christian woman, she gives her marriage one last chance because Jesus said so.
I am dark-skinned and bald, so I hate you, and I hate Jesus.
And just when the brown-skinned dude from Law & Order is about to hit her, here comes the shirtless gardener.
Hold it right there, bald-headed dude from Law & Order.
The woman and the gardener kiss, having found true love through Jesus.
Granddad is excited to audition for the new stage play Ma Dukes Find Herself a Man, produced by mega famous playwright and director Winston Jerome. Now, Winston Jerome is no mystery to anyone paying attention. He's clearly a fictional stand-in for Tyler Perry. He's a devout evangelical Christian, writes over-the-top Christian-themed plays, and stars in them as Ma Dukes, a gun-toting sassy grandma played in drag. Sound familiar? Because it should. Robert is thrilled to land the male lead, Ma Duke's love interest. Before the audition, Granddad confidently announces,
I'm gonna really let him have it. Show him my stuff. Give that man everything I got.
Riley quickly calls that out, warning him to say no homo, because in Riley's world, that kind of phrasing needs a disclaimer. Robert refuses, brushing it off. Also, not to get sidetracked, but does anyone even use the phrase no homo anymore? Because when someone says something sexually charging, I feel like that was in the era of the late 2000s and 2010s, but now people say hey yo when you say something wild. After passing the audition, Winston Jerome invites Robert to his compound. In this secluded cult-like estate, actors are forced to cut ties with their families and pledge religious loyalty to Jesus. When I hear stuff like this, y'all make religion sound and look so toxic. Look, I'm not here to judge, make fun, or belittle anyone's religion or faith, but me personally, anytime someone comes up to me and people say, Jesus told me to do this, it feels like you're using him as an excuse to do actions you know is wrong and shouldn't be doing. Jerome makes a theatrical entrance, descending on a golden elevator while singing the absurdly titled gospel number, It's Alright to Cross-Dress for Christ. What? What follows is a Rocky Horror Picture Show style descent into madness. Robert finds himself isolated, overworked in rehearsals, and on the receiving end of Winston Jerome's increasingly predatory advances. At one point, Winston reveals that Robert must kiss him in the play's final act. Despite the obvious red flags, Robert stays. Why? Why does he stay? Because he believes that enduring the humiliation might finally earn him fame, money, and yes, even white women. Hey, nothing wrong with white women. As long as you're not messing with teenagers, then you're okay. But I'm still gonna side-eye you if you are pushing 40, hell, pushing 50, and you are messing with someone that's not even barely out their teens. You're a weirdo. At the compound, things get strange fast. Jerome pulls a P. Diddy and lubes Granddad's body with oil. I swear, you cannot make this up. Robert soon finds out he can't leave. He's now a captive in a compound that operates more like a theatrical cult than a production company. Huey and Riley, seeing what's going on, try to rescue him. Emphasis on the word try. Jerome is trying to stick his whole tongue down Granddad's throat before being interrupted by Huey and Riley.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Grown men covered head to toe in oil start jumping a 10 and 8-year-old. After that anticlimactic fight, Granddad refuses to leave. Granddad, you've been sexually harassed the moment you step onto this production studio and almost had your tonsils cleaned out by Ma Dukes. He's too deep.
Pause.
Too invested. He can't leave now, even when he knows he'll have to kiss Jerome on stage. Fast forward 2 weeks, and the play opens to a packed house. The audience, devoted, screaming middle-aged fans of Winston Jerome. Granddad ends up giving Jerome a kiss. Ugh. After the show, Jerome offers Granddad the lead role in the upcoming film adaptation, but as we know, there's a catch. Jerome flat out demands sexual favors in return.
Can I please just have some ass?
Okay. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you made up this whole cross-dressing Christian cult crap just so you can sleep with men?
Pretty much, yeah.
Hurt and traumatized. Disgusted.
That's when reality finally slaps Robert in the face. He realizes that Jerome's entire operation, the plays, the compound, the cult-like devotion, was all a front. A front built to lure men into sexual relationships under the guise of art and faith.
You! Now stick that up your ass! No homo!
Why didn't you just come out and say that in the beginning? Like, dude, that just got me so annoyed. Not only did you waste your time, my time, and Granddad's time with this long conga trying to get some booty, just be big, brave, and bold like your alter ego Ma Dukes and say, hey, I like men, and I would like to clap your cheeks. Can I get some ass? The answer would have been a definite no, but it would have saved us a lot of time. The episode closes with Granddad, Huey, and Riley driving home. Riding shotgun is one of Granddad's newest fangirls. Meanwhile, in the backseat, Riley is mercilessly trolling his grandfather. He's replaying the video clip of him getting kissed by Jerome on stage over and over and over again. Riley repeats,
Pause again, Granddad. Pause again. Pause again.
Robert, visibly frustrated, can only sit in silence, regretting every decision that brought him to that stage. On the surface, Pause is hilarious, uncomfortable, and full of Boondocks' signature unfiltered truth. But underneath is a sharp critique of power, closeted identity, and exploitation in Black entertainment. It wasn't just about Tyler Perry, it's about the way some figures in the industry build entire empires behind Christian values, while allegedly using that power to manipulate those around them. Now, let's get to the real tea. Soon after this episode aired, Tyler Perry's website, email inbox, Facebook, and Twitter were flooded. Fans of the Boondocks and Tyler Perry himself began demanding a response. Some urged Tyler Perry to sue Aaron McGruder and Cartoon Network, accusing the show of defamation. So, did he? Tyler Perry addressed the situation. He denied having any plans to sue Aaron McGruder, Cartoon Network, or Turner Broadcasting, which also airs several of Tyler Perry's shows on TBS. He also denied rumors that someone was fired at Turner as a result of the episode, but not everyone was convinced of that. Back then, this episode caused major drama. Rumors swirled that Tyler Perry was furious. Some people remained skeptical, suspecting that Tyler Perry's statement was simply a placeholder for potential legal action behind the scenes. After all, shortly after the episode aired, Pause quietly vanished from Adult Swim's rerun schedule. Despite its popularity, it aired only once more and then was pulled and remained buried for over a decade. No official reason was ever given. The timing? Suspicious. Many longtime viewers speculate that Tyler Perry may have used his influence with Turner to suppress the episode, especially given that TBS was airing 3 of his shows at the time. No formal complaint has ever been confirmed, but the whispers have never really gone away. But now, with real-life allegations surfacing of sexual harassment, manipulation, and coercion behind the scenes of Tyler Perry's productions, Pause suddenly feels less like satire and more like a warning we all missed. These are all allegations. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Of course, the Boondocks creator Aaron McGruder has never been one to shy away from pushing buttons. By the time Pause aired, McGruder already had a reputation for stirring the pot. He had openly criticized George W. Bush, sparked controversy for reportedly mocking Rice at the 2002 NAACP Image Awards, and even raised eyebrows with a controversial visit to Cuba in 2003, where he met the then president Fidel Castro. Aaron McGruder's bold leftist views have often positioned him as an outlier within the so-called Black Power establishment, never quite fitting in, never interested in playing it safe. So it's no surprise that the Boondocks, and particularly Pause, took a swing at a cultural giant like Tyler Perry. Some speculated at the time that this feud was nothing more than mutual publicity, a calculated stunt to promote Tyler Perry's plays and Aaron McGruder's show. But that theory doesn't hold much weight. For one, the Boondocks comic strip had already ended in 2006, 4 years before this episode aired, and if anything, the fallout from Pause likely hurt McGruder more than it helped, with Tyler Perry rumored to have pulled strings behind the scenes to get the episode silenced. In a 2023 interview, Boondocks producer Carl Jones clarified that Pause was meant as satire, not slander, but he also admitted it might have hit a little too close to home, possibly thanks to someone on the inside helping shape the script.
Winston Jerome is a closeted cross-dressing cult leader whose love of the Christian faith is a mask for his true sexuality. From what I understand, Tyler Perry was furious over this. Furious.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And the episode aired, and at least the way this was told to us from the network, Tyler himself called, and said, "You guys better not ever air that shit again."
Mm.
You know, and at the time, he had a lot of shows at TBS. You know, we were just a little small black cartoon. Like Tyler Perry was God. You know, one of the reasons why I think he got really mad is because I think he thought maybe he had a leak or a mole or something, because we were putting things that we actually heard about how he really conducts some of his business, right, in the show. You know, because Gary Anthony Williams had auditioned for one of his films, and he made it to like the second audition. And so Gary was telling us about all of this stuff that he was experiencing, like the prayer circle, how they all were like in this prayer circle. And Gary was talking about how, you know, he was not engaged in the prayer at all. Like he was like looking around, you know, looking at the people in the circle and stuff like that.
The controversy around the episode didn't just get it removed. Many fans believe it contributed to the Boondocks' decline. And if true, it raises disturbing questions about who gets to control criticism in the entertainment world. Whether or not Derek Dixon's lawsuit succeeds in court, the public narrative around Tyler Perry is already changing. For years, Tyler Perry has cultivated a powerful image: Christian values, empowerment, hard work, and Black-owned excellence. But these allegations challenges that image in fundamental ways, and the resurfacing of the Boondocks only sharpens the public scrutiny. Fans are now asking the uncomfortable question: was Aaron McGruder just joking, or was he sounding an alarm we weren't ready to hear? And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And I'll see you guys next time.